All right, so get this. Today, we're going deep on something really cool, something that can really level up your storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're diving into the Lyndon technique.
Yeah.
And it's this really unique acting method. But it's not just about getting roles, it's about, like, becoming this incredible performer.
Interesting.
And you know what? I actually think some of these principles, could apply to, like, your everyday life.
Right.
Even if you've, like, never even, been on a stage or anything.
Exactly. That's the thing about the Lyndon technique that's so interesting. It's all about truthfully communicating a story.
Right.
And, I mean, who doesn't want to be a better communicator?
Exactly.
Right? So our source material today is this super insightful interview with Greg Zanfardino.
Okay.
He's the only certified coach in this method, like besides Amy Lyndon, who created it.
Wow.
And he had some really cool things to say about how this technique works.
Okay, so I'm definitely intrigued, but, like, let's back up for a second.
Sure.
What exactly is the Lyndon technique?
Yeah.
It sounds pretty intense.
So basically, the Lyndon technique is a system of 15 guidelines.
Oh, wow.
Think of them as like a checklist that actors use to analyze a script and, craft their performance.
Interesting.
So it's not just about memorizing lines. It's about really getting the nuances of the story and, like, the character's whole journey in it.
So, like, if you miss a step on the checklist, your performance is going to, like, crash and burn.
Totally. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
He emphasizes how crucial it is to use all 15 guidelines every single time, without fail.
Wow.
He says skipping even one can make the performance lack depth, and authenticity.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's so impressive. So, like, these guidelines must be, like, pretty specific then. Could you give us a sneak peek at, like, a couple of them?
Oh, for sure. One that Greg emphasizes a lot is, what am I doing? Super simple, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually about going deep into, like, the character's moment-to-moment actions and understanding, like, the why behind everything. Every gesture, every word, like, really living in the character's world.
Right.
Making every single choice, like, purposeful.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. I can see how that would create a much more, like, believable performance.
Right.
If you, as the actor, are really present and you understand, like, the motivation behind every action, that's going to translate to a much more, I don't know, nuanced and engaging portrayal, right?
Totally. It's about going way beyond just the surface level.
Yeah.
And truly embodying the character's whole experience.
Yeah.
And another guideline that Greg really, really emphasizes is transitions.
Transitions? You mean like the moments between lines of dialogue?
Exactly.
Huh. I gotta admit, I've never really, like, thought of those as being, that crucial.
Well, that's what's so cool about the Lyndon technique. Greg explains that Amy Lyndon, she is adamant about strong transitions. She actually said, if your transitions are not strong, we're not going to see character.
Really?
Yeah. These seemingly small moments between lines or actions, that's where a character's, like, true nature can be revealed.
So it's not just about, like, nailing those big dramatic moments.
Right.
It's about those, like, subtle shifts in energy and emotion, that stuff.
Yeah.
That really makes the character come to life.
Yeah. Think about it. In our own lives, we're constantly reacting and adjusting
Right.
to the world around us. Our emotions aren't just on or off.
Right.
There's a flow, a subtle dance between thoughts and feelings. The Lyndon technique encourages actors to bring that same detail and, like, authenticity to their performance.
Okay.
And does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm starting to see how all these, like, small details can have a big impact on a performance.
Right.
But you know what else I thought was interesting? Greg talks a lot about how the Lyndon technique can build self-esteem in actors.
Oh, absolutely. That's a key part of this whole approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about, like, technique. It's about empowering actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Greg explains that when actors master this process and they see, like, real improvement in their work, their confidence just, like, takes off.
Oh, cool.
They're not just memorizing lines. They're becoming, like, confident storytellers.
Yeah.
And that confidence, it goes everywhere with them.
Right. It spills over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Into everyday life.
I can see how that would be super helpful in such a competitive field like, acting.
Yeah.
It's so unpredictable. Just having a solid process and a set of tools you can always count on.
Yeah.
That must be a huge confidence booster.
Definitely. And this is where the Lyndon technique gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Greg says that this whole focus on process, like over outcome, can really apply to, like, any field, not just acting.
Oh, interesting.
think about like giving a presentation at work, right?
Right.
If you focus on the process, like crafting a clear message, practicing your delivery, that's when the confidence follows.
And it's like that saying, focus on the journey, not the destination.
Yes, exactly. And that actually brings us to another core principle of the Lyndon technique, story over concept.
Okay.
Greg, he always emphasizes that actors should focus on the story that the writer's trying to tell,
Right.
rather than like putting their own ideas or, concepts onto the character.
Yeah, I can see how that would be tempting, especially if you're like trying to stand out in an audition.
Right.
But I can also see how it could lead to some like really inauthentic performances.
Totally. Greg believes that really understanding what the writer meant to do, like their intentions, is so important
Right.
for making a believable character. You got to let the story be your guide, not the other way around. And you know what? It seems like one of the most common mistakes actors make is with the point of view guideline. They think it's just about like summarizing what the scene's about. But Amy Lyndon's really clear. It's about understanding the character's specific perspective.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And their attitude in that scene. That's what shapes how they act and interact.
Oh, that's like a really interesting distinction. Is like the difference between describing a painting and actually like feeling the emotions it evokes.
Exactly.
One's surface level and the other's a much deeper experience.
A perfect analogy. And that actually brings us to another one of Greg's favorite words, specificity.
Yeah.
He's always like reminding actors to find the precise details in every single aspect of their work. The story, the character, even themselves.
So he's like challenging actors to go beyond like the obvious and find those like tiny nuances that make a performance truly captivating, huh?
Yes. And he believes that those specifics, those tiny choices are what make the audience, lean in and be like, wow, I believe this person. He even says that the key line is always the line you keep forgetting. It's the line that you don't understand. That's the reason for the whole reason why you're even in the script.
So it's like finding the core of it all, the heart of what's driving the scene and the character.
Exactly.
No glossing over the tough stuff, right?
Yeah, no glossing over. And Greg is also a huge believer in actors bringing their like authentic selves to the work,
Right.
He talks about the importance of selfness, like being full of your true self and letting that shine through in your performance.
That's really interesting. It seems like he's encouraging like this balance between technique and authenticity,
Yes, yeah.
And, it makes me think about Greg's own journey, like how he transitioned from talent management to coaching. It seems like he followed his passion and found this way to like share his knowledge and experience, right?
Definitely. That's such a great example of how the Lyndon technique can apply to life beyond like the stage,
Right.
And actually, Greg talks about how his approach has helped actors on set. They even get praise from directors for how prepared and professional they are.
So it's not just about getting the part, it's about like doing well once you're there.
Exactly.
And it sounds like the Lyndon technique gives actors the tools to do just that.
Exactly. It's about building confidence, mastering the craft, and becoming this like magnetic storyteller.
Okay, so I know we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But this has already been so fascinating. I'm seeing how all these concepts could apply to like my own life, even though I'm not, an actor.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cool, right?
It is, yeah.
There's so much more to uncover.
Oh, I bet.
Greg has lots to say about self-takes, audition techniques, and even those trap scenes that we mentioned earlier.
Oh, right.
Plus, we'll get into some real-life examples of how the Lyndon technique has helped actors, like, find success.
Oh, awesome. I'm so ready to dive in. This deep dive is getting more and more interesting. Can't wait to hear more. So you mentioned trap scenes earlier.
Yeah.
And now I'm like really curious about what those are. It sounds like Greg kind of throws some curveballs at his students.
Oh, he does. It's part of his like unique teaching style.
Right.
Trap scenes are like specifically designed to highlight those common mistakes that actors make.
Okay.
The pitfalls they fall into.
Uh-huh.
They're almost guaranteed to like trip you up if you don't fully get a certain guideline.
So it's like a test, but instead of multiple choice, it's sink or swim.
Exactly. It's all about like putting the theory into practice.
Right.
And seeing if you can actually apply the technique when the pressure's on. And the crazy thing is that Greg can spot instantly which guideline an actor has missed. He even says when somebody doesn't do one of the guidelines, he could pick it out like just immediately. It's that precise.
Oh, wow. That's pretty wild. So it seems like these trap scenes could be like super valuable for learning, right?
Totally. Yeah.
But okay, let's switch gears a bit
Sure.
and talk about something that's like on every aspiring actor's mind, self-tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Those can be like so nerve-wracking.
Right.
Does Greg offer any like advice for nailing those?
Oh, he does.
Okay.
And his advice is all about, you guess it, specificity.
Okay.
He talks about doing a self-zoom before you even hit record.
What's a self-zoom?
So basically, you set up your camera and you actually practice your actions and like your movements within that space.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's about making sure your physicality is all integrated, right?
Right.
Into the scene.
Okay.
Seamlessly.
Oh, yeah.
And that you're working within like what the camera sees, you know?
Right. That makes a lot of sense. I can imagine it'd be easy to get carried away, do some big gesture or something, and suddenly you're out of frame.
Exactly. And Greg really stresses that like that attention to detail, that specificity, that's what makes the difference
Oh, okay.
between a good self-tape and a great one. He's all about cutting out distractions, you know?
Right.
So those casting directors can just focus on your performance, not on like some technical glitch or weird framing.
Right. So it's about making a no-question performance, right? Like the casting directors, they're immediately into it, and they're convinced that like you are the actor for the role.
Exactly. And he believes that the Lyndon technique gives you the tools to like reach that level
Yeah.
of clarity and impact.
So speaking of tools, I'm kind of curious, how is Greg's approach to coaching different from like other acting classes or techniques? What makes the Lyndon technique stand out?
Well, for one thing, it's super comprehensive. Greg says the Lyndon technique is all the best of everything that you need. So why take 15, 30 different classes to end up ultimately with these 15 things? It's all right here in one neat package.
Yeah.
Like, he truly believes that this one technique gives you everything, you know?
It's a complete system.
Yeah.
Not just like a bunch of different methods put together.
Right, exactly. And another big difference is that focus on story
Right.
that we talked about. Greg's super clear that actors should like come to the script without any preconceived ideas
Right.
or concepts.
Yeah.
Instead, they got to focus on what the story's trying to say. He actually compares actors to detectives, using the technique as a magnifying glass to find the story's specific details.
So it's like he's saying, don't put your own spin on the script. Let the script lead you.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. He wants actors to really get into the text, you know,
Right.
understand the purpose of the scene, the big picture, before they even think about their character's point of view.
Now, you mentioned that Greg's big on the what am I doing guideline.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit more? It seems pretty simple, but...
It is simple, but it's also like super powerful.
Yeah.
This guideline is all about getting your character's actions, like moment by moment.
Okay.
And not just physical actions. We're talking about the intentions, you know.
Right.
What's the character trying to do?
Yeah.
What are they feeling at that exact moment?
Yep.
And by answering those questions, actors can create a map for their performance, basically. They know what they're doing physically and emotionally the whole way through.
So it's about being totally present and making every choice like on purpose.
Yes. And that leads to a performance that's like much more confident and grounded.
Right.
When you know what you're doing, you're not going to second guess yourself
Right, exactly.
or feel lost.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I've heard Greg's a big advocate for actors finding like a personal connection to their characters.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He wants actors to use their own experiences and emotions
Right.
to really bring those characters to life. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about finding like that truth
Right.
of the character within yourself.
Yeah.
He actually says, relate the character back to themselves to play it authentically.
So it's about finding that like emotional connection
Yeah.
that lets you really embody the character's journey.
Exactly. And Greg believes that by connecting with the character,
Yeah.
it actually helps actors become more self-aware,
Oh, wow.
more emotionally intelligent too.
That's really cool. So it seems like the Lyndon technique is not just about becoming a better actor. It's about being like a more well-rounded person.
Yeah, totally. That's one of the most inspiring things about it.
Right.
It's not just about acting, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a whole philosophy for living.
That's really neat. Now, I'm curious, how do Greg's students respond to this approach? Does the Lyndon technique actually like live up to the hype?
Well, from what Greg says, it seems like it really does. He talks about actors coming to him, you know, feeling frustrated,
Yeah.
lost.
Right.
Like maybe they've taken tons of classes but haven't gotten anywhere, you know?
Right.
Or maybe they're just feeling bummed out by all the rejection.
Yeah, that's so relatable, especially in the entertainment world.
Oh, totally. It can be brutal. What's remarkable is that Greg doesn't just, like, teach acting.
Right.
He helps actors build their self-esteem. He believes that by really getting the Lyndon technique,
Right.
actors get this sense of control, you know,
Uh-huh.
and mastery over their craft. They see, like, real improvement, and that makes them more confident.
So it's about, like, believing in yourself and your skills.
Exactly. And Greg, he sees this happening over and over,
Right.
in his classes. He says, when actors consistently apply the guidelines and see tangible results in their work, their self-esteem grows.
Yeah.
This confidence translates into more relaxed and authentic auditions, increasing their chances of booking roles.
So it's like a positive feedback loop, right? The more you do the technique, the better you get, the more confident you become. And then that confidence, it spills over into, like, all parts of your life.
That's the best part. It's not just about being, like, a successful actor.
Yeah.
It's about being, like, a stronger, more confident you.
You know what? It seems like the Lyndon technique could help anyone who wants to get better at communicating.
Totally.
Not just actors, right?
Yeah, and while Greg works mainly with actors, I can see how these principles could apply to other things, too.
Right.
Like public speaking, for instance.
Totally. Being able to connect with an audience, tell a captivating story, those are important skills no matter what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even in our personal lives, like just understanding how communication works.
Yeah.
Being present.
Right.
Making specific choices.
Right.
That can lead to way better interactions.
I'm noticing a pattern here. Specificity, authenticity, and really focusing on the story you want to tell.
You got it. And there's one more thing that I think brings it all together.
Okay.
Greg talks about detaching from outcomes.
Right.
He wants actors to focus on growing, you know,
Yeah.
doing the work, not getting hung up on things they can't control, like getting a certain part or signing with a certain agent.
So it's about trusting the process.
Yeah.
And focusing on what you can control.
Exactly. And it all goes back to those 15 guidelines,
Yeah, right.
when actors master them. They feel competent and confident. They know they did the work, right? Prepared, made good choices.
So they can walk into an audition or onto a set feeling good,
Yeah.
knowing they're showing up as their best selves.
Totally. That's when the magic happens, when you're not all worried about failing.
Right.
Or pressured to achieve something specific.
Right.
That's when you can be present, connect with the material, and really shine.
It's like they say, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Right.
When you focus on your craft, becoming the best actor you can be, that's when opportunities show up.
And it's clear from how Greg talks about his students that he really believes in them.
Yeah.
He sees the Lyndon technique as this way to, like, unlock their potential.
Right.
Help them reach their dreams.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered those 15 guidelines. We've talked about those trap scenes and self-tapes. But I'm still curious. Are there any, like, specific examples of how this has helped actors find success?
Well, that's what's interesting. Greg doesn't name drop any actors
Okay.
or give you those, like, rags to riches stories.
Right.
But he does mention tons of times where students have booked roles, you know, gotten positive feedback, even landed agents and managers, all because of this technique.
So it's like the proof is in the pudding, right?
Exactly. And Greg emphasizes that those success stories aren't just about booking gigs.
Right.
They're about actors finding their purpose.
Right.
Feeling fulfilled.
It's about, like, finding your voice
Yeah.
and sharing your story in a way that connects with people.
That's it. And as we wrap up our look into the Lyndon technique, I think it's important to remember that these principles, they can go way beyond acting.
That's what I was thinking, too. It's about finding your authentic voice, connecting with your audience, and, like, telling your story with confidence.
Yeah, and remember what Greg says, tell the great story and show up in the scene. That's it.
Simple, but so true.
Right.
I think we've uncovered some really cool stuff today.
Totally.
While we've been talking about the Lyndon technique, I keep thinking about how it's not just for acting.
Right.
It seems like all this stuff, being specific, focusing on the story, not getting caught up in outcomes.
Yeah.
That could be useful anywhere you need to communicate,
Oh, totally.
like in any field. And you know what else I found interesting?
What's that?
Greg talked about how the Lyndon technique helped his actors use their skills on set.
Oh, yeah.
They were getting praise from directors for being so prepared and professional.
Yeah, so it's not just about the audition.
Right.
It's about doing a great job once you're there.
Exactly. It's like he's giving them, I don't know, a whole toolkit
Uh-huh.
to be successful, not just to get the part, but to excel at what they
Yeah,
do.
to build a career, you know,
Right.
a lasting one.
And that brings us back to, like, what Greg said about detaching from outcomes.
Right.
Acting is so competitive, it's easy to get fixated on, like
Hmm.
booking a specific role or winning some award.
Totally.
But the Lyndon technique is all about focusing on your growth,
Yeah.
knowing that the real reward is mastering the craft and connecting with people.
It's finding the joy in the process, you know,
Right.
not just the end result.
This whole deep dive has been like a total eye-opener.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I understand acting way better now.
Cool.
And I've gotten some really good tips that I can use in my own life.
Me too. It's clear that the Lyndon technique is a powerful approach.
Yeah.
And Greg's passion for teaching it is, like, contagious.
So what does this all mean for you? Maybe it's time to, like, check in with how you communicate.
Ooh, good idea.
Are you being specific?
Yeah.
Are you telling a story that people want to hear?
Uh-huh.
Are you connecting with your audience in a real way?
Good stuff to think about.
Remember what Greg said?
What's that?
Tell the great story and show up in the scene. That's it.
Wise words.
Words to live by, really.
Totally.
Well, that's our deep dive into the Lyndon technique, folks.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning,
Keep growing.
and keep telling your story.